What's your general marketing mix? How you bringing customers into the fold?
I think we've tried almost all traditional marketing that's allowed in cannabis. Oregon, thankfully, is pretty open to what you can do as far as marketing, billboards, magazines, and those things. I know some states prohibit a lot of those marketing outlets, but we've done the billboard game, we've done the magazine ads, we've done direct mail, we've done SEO optimization is something we're increasingly pushing into. That one's always tough because it doesn't feel like you're actually getting, it's a very hard thing to gauge. But as we continue to push online sales, we're definitely leaning into SEO. We've got some companies that we've worked with to help us rank there. We have a pretty robust rewards program across all locations. And so we've got thankfully a pretty healthy amount of people that have opted into the rewards program. And then with that, obviously we get SMS and email opportunity to send out deals, which even that can be difficult with the deliverability rates in certain carriers is difficult. So navigating that's been fun. But I think we've hit a lot of the angles we can. CPG stuff though, the brands, sounds so basic, but in-store assets has been the thing for us. It's so not sexy, but signage, any type of signage, Sintra, plastic displays, window clings, little thing, even simple as that. We do logos that go into windows, so then we get visibility from the street. So light up signs, we can get made pretty inexpensively in bulk, and so we'll give those for free to retailers, so we get some high visibility there. What's been really fun actually recently, our brand Fire Department Cannabis, we've pre-rolls is kind of our bread and butter. And so we've been handing out, it's kind of a cheeky thing, but it's a 4-foot tall 10-pack cigarette style box. And so everyone wants to take a photo or jump out of it. And so little things like that have been oddly successful. Then retail, of course, this is another non-sexy answer, but high visibility locations, easy access. When we do look at a location, we just analyze what's the population within a mile, how many dispensaries within this mile potentially, and doing calculations like that. In big buildings, if we can get them right, this is also kind of maybe a bizarre one. Portland real estate's definitely been a slump lately. The last post-COVID, we've kind of struggled to rebound, and so real estate's been really inexpensive. So we've been able to lock down nice prime buildings in great locations. They may be rough. That's a big thing for us, is finding a building that needs a lot of work and doing the elbow grease to turn it around. And so right now our headquarters in downtown Portland is a 30,000 square foot 4-story building. I think it's the biggest dispensary in the state. We've got a 4-story mural on the front. It's a big botanical, it's like a silhouette of a cannabis plant. And it took 9 months of permitting with the city to get that approved. We had to get letters of recommendation, but you cannot walk by this building and be like, damn, it's a cool mural. It's very, very visual. And so we've done that. Right. We've got murals we've got another one going up in the next couple weeks. So 3 of our 5 locations will have murals. So being highly visible has been an oddly simple tactic for us. Signage, we have very nice signage. The building we're in right now, sorry, I'm rambling on what's unsexy marketing.
No, I love it. I find it really interesting when people are super passionate about these like really niche, quote unquote, boring things like signage and like getting things out there. So by all means, don't feel, keep on talking, because that's completely fine.
It's such a silly, stupid thing. Signage, it seems so old school, but we nerd out on our signage. We allocate a lot of budget to signage. Our main building down here, the headquarters, like I said, the downtown one, the large one, 30,000 square feet. We got a sign grandfathered in. It's a big vertical kind of marquee style sign. City of Portland allows 32 square feet for signage to current code. This sign, we begged and pleaded and said, well, what if we reface it and it's technically not a new sign? And they said, okay, that's fine. Now, again, 9 months of permitting. Thank you, City of Portland. So now rather than a 32 square foot sign, we have a 150 square foot massive sign right on Broadway, which is our main drag in Portland. You can't beat location. And then if you magnify that with a mural and a massive sign, there's a lot of marketing opportunity out there, but when it comes to brick and mortar, that's hard to beat, in my opinion.
Right. So on those signs, so effectively you're finding these kind of old, dilapidated buildings where presumably they're not generating any revenue for the landlord or whoever's in charge of, that signage in itself. And you're essentially saying, hey, what is the value add for both my business and for whoever owns this piece of property? And then how can we work together to kind of essentially get these little pieces of physical real estate. You know, the SEO is you get digital real estate because you have people searching online with Google, and now you're essentially finding physical real estate. You're building out different pages, but in the physical space. That's kind of how it works?
Totally. And I think a lot of cannabis people, if they're getting in, they underestimate the real estate side of the game. And it is a huge piece. Even if you're just doing processing or production, you still need to find the warehouse and negotiate that property and know the zoning rules. But brick and mortar, like we look at it as a real estate deal. It's like we're looking for distressed assets. The building right now was vacant for like 3 years, just covered in graffiti. And we went to the landowner and building owner. We said, hey, here's our track record. We can whip this thing in shape. We're going to want some concessions here. And so we've got a smoking deal. It doesn't ramp up to maturity of rent for 5 years. And even at that 5-year point, it's still, in my opinion, under market. Another building, our most recent one on the east side, another mint location. That's a 10,000 square foot building, totally covered in graffiti, boarded up. When we got it, and then we came in and said, hey, we'll make a deal with you. And we ended up making a deal because we put a bunch of TIs into it. And then 6 months later, the landlord loved us because we just flipped his building for him, but we get rent concessions, so it all works out. And that's on a highway, 60,000 vehicles per day, slam dunk location. So impressive.
That's crazy. So on the CPG side of things too, that's kind of like your philosophy, where you mentioned that the retail side on CPG is being able to kind of do these guerrilla marketing strategies and stuff like that is one of the main reasons why you're able to excel on that side of the business too, right?
Yeah, totally. So we've got our own brand. So first I guess I'll back up a little bit, give some further context here. When I got into the industry in 2014,
sure.
I started this company, and I ended up selling that company in 2019, in February of 2019, exited that, and then 5 months later in July, started our first retail store. So there was kind of a create company one, exit, go to zero, and then 5 years ago now is when we started the first dispensary, and then started all over again. So when I kind of reference these things, this is on like the second piece of the 10-year journey, 5 years in. So we started the dispensary, and about 6 months later, we had the NDA was up from exiting the previous company, and it was I kind of miss making cannabis products. So we created another brand. It was Fire Department Cannabis, and that was actually was intended to be distributed to other retailers primarily. And then obviously it was like, well, of course we'll vertically integrate, sell into our stores. And then we realized actually this works really well. They're doing well at third party. We sell to probably 300 plus stores in the state. And then we sell to our own stores now. And it's about 20% of our stores revenue comes from our vertical products. And the margins on those are unbeatable. So it wasn't originally the plan to be able to have the vertical products to sell into store for the increased margin. But it's such a, I mean, it's not a new model. All the MSOs do it and whatnot, but it's awesome. It's a must have. It's definitely an extra step. We have another facility that manufactures all these things. We have additional licenses out there. We have a team of 50 people in that facility that all they do is make the products. So it's definitely not something you can just half-ass and be like, okay, we have a store, I'm going to go start a CPG brand. You got to have some real thought there, but it's worth it.
A little bit more than saying I'm going to start this thing just because I have a retail shop.
Yeah, exactly.
I've realized that after all of these interviews, dispensary owners need a safe space where they can ask the questions that Google doesn't have the answers for. So what I've done is I've created the world's first dispensary owners mastermind group, where it's an environment of like-minded individuals who can help make each other's lives easier and also make more money in the process. So if that's something that you're interested in, please check out the links in the description below.